All right, well, I wanted to thank Julian for sharing that with us because that was really beautiful.
Thank you.
And also, up next, we have Fancy Fairchild. She said pain pills is what she's sharing with us today. Also, she has crossed out that she's happy as hell to be here.
And I thought that was their subject matter. Okay, well, I'm here tonight, and one of the primary reasons I'm here is I want to buy some pain pills. If anybody has any, see me after the show. I want to buy them both for an investment and for my personal use. Because I'm telling you guys, if you're survivor type people and you're putting stuff aside, pain pills are going to be worth more than gold if the shit hits the fan. Well, thanks to the DEA, pain pills are going to the black market now. Millions of Americans are suffering because the DEA wants to punish all for the behavior of some. And people who are desperate for pain pills to stop their suffering or that of a loved one may commit crimes to get them. I don't know if any of you guys know anybody who's in chronic pain who can't get pain pills. Does anybody? Anybody hear that story? Well, if you've ever been in extreme pain and had to leave a doctor with the advice, take some ibuprofen, use a cold pack. That's just, it's just unconscionable that someone would offer that when you walk in with a torn shoulder. In October 2014, hydrocodone moved from Schedule 3 to Schedule 2, and that makes it almost impossible to get. The DEA says it's because of massive amounts of prescription drug abuse and overdose. Instead of trying to figure out why droves of Americans want to commit suicide or stay dazed with opiates, the government just take away the option for the rest of us to access essential pain medicine. Maybe if people like veterans OD a lot on pain pills. Maybe if they got access to the health care they need, they wouldn't OD. Maybe the future looks so bleak for a lot of Americans that they just can't cope. So they get, addicted to pain pills. And maybe some people just want to feel good and pain pills help them. Everyone who takes pain pills is not an abuser. Me, for example, I have ADD. And people like to make fun of ADD, and I do too sometimes. It's, people make fun of it. But it's not really funny a lot of times. Sometimes I feel so confused, I can't focus on what I'm doing. And I just run back and forth in my house, picking things up and putting them down. I have an inability to follow through on goals, because when I think a thought, it splits into two, and then those two thoughts split, and so on and so forth, until my head is just like, shut the fuck up! And sometimes it's so bad I get headaches from it. And it's not just depressing, it's anguish. So go ahead and feel sorry for me if you want to. Well, I've tried every kind of ADD medicine, and the side effects have been as bad as the symptoms. I can't afford some of these drugs. They cost as much as $300 a month. But one day, my knee hurt, and a friend of mine offered me a hydrocodone. And when I took that thing, I felt calm, and my thoughts were clear. Just like that, I was able to focus. And I bought a handful of hydrocodone from a friend, and now when my symptoms are really bad, which is about once every 2-3 months, I take a half a hydrocodone. And the relief it affords me is just worth more than I can say. So I was excited about this when I found out that, wow, hydrocodone helps me. So I told my therapist about it. And she said, yeah, there has been some research that opiates can help people with ADD. But the DEA is never going to let us have it. So I also told a medical professional, and she turned all narc on me and said, oh, you shouldn't do that. I ought to turn you in. Instead of saying, oh, how great for you that you got a little relief. So my friends need to keep their pain pills. One of my friends has worn out hip joints rubbing bone on bone. they now give her hydrocodone. After more than a year of pain, she was able to get it. But she's drug tested. And my friend told him up front, I'm going to test dirty because I need to smoke pot to make it through every day. And her prescriber was sympathetic, but a lot of people aren't that lucky. It's on record that if you've ever tried to commit suicide, or I think if you've had a felony or you've had drug charges, you are practically not going to get pain pills. And if you fall into one of those categories and wrench your shoulder or bust your kneecap, tough luck. If you lose your pills or somebody steals them, tough luck. Chronic pain is agonizing. I'm here, the reason I'm here, you guys, is because of what I work with low-income people. I work with homeless people and low-income people. And a lot of them can't afford things, or they have records, or they're on MAP, or whatever these things are. They have excruciating pain, and I'm here to share their story and perspective. That's what brought me. It's not just my ADD story, but I hear this kind of story at least twice a week. And all you can sit there is go, I'm sorry, buddy. And so that makes me mad. So this agonizing pain ages you, and it drains you, and it makes you yearn for death. When it's that bad, when you wake up every day and every day is going to be pain all day long, and you can't sleep because the pain's so bad. And I've heard this. I've heard it many times. So how can the DEA measure units of suffering versus the cost of abuse? How can you measure the amount of suffering somebody's going through versus the idea that somebody might be abusing drugs? Well, I don't know how long we will have to endure pain needlessly while the DEA tweaks its rules and laws. I was going to end this by saying that I'd like every government official who had anything to do with denying pain pills to stand in front of me in their bare feet, and I'd take a ball-peen hammer and hit both their feet as hard as I could, and then say, hey, take 2 ibuprofen and use a cold pack on it. Questions back there?
Yeah, first off, that was a really coherent story, and clearly took a lot of work, so congratulations on making it through your ADD to get to that.
I had to hold the paper.
Yeah, no problem, so did I. I was wondering if you've ever tried like the Silk Road, or like one of these online marketplaces where you can exchange bitcoins for opiates or hydrocodone.
No, but I heard about that, but I also heard that the guy who was originating that got busted, and I thought his operation got shut down.
Yeah, the Silk Road is gone. Yeah, that guy, Ross.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
There's a new one called the Agora.
There's lots of new ones.
Yeah.
Like it's like the Hydra. You cut off one and a million pop up.
Good, because really, like Katie was saying, these laws, who should determine what we do? And if some people OD, I'm sorry. Really, I am. I'm sorry that somebody ODs, but maybe we should be figuring out why people feel like they want to OD,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would just, I think in the comment, I would think that maybe the DEA wanted everybody to get prepared for all that heroin that's coming in from Afghanistan.
Absolutely. I know the DEA is involved with, and the CIA is involved with a lot of drug transferring, so it's really ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, excuse me back there.
Yeah, so one is a couple, they're basically both, I guess, comments/statements more than questions. First of all, I agree with Michael, like, I'm not ADD that I know of, but at times I have, like, trouble organizing my thoughts, especially for papers and things like that. So first of all, that was an amazing talk you just gave. Second of all, I think it's more comment on, I guess, military service and the DA in general. I think it's funny that all this, like, ads for military service, like View, the Proud Marine, like drones flying, all this stuff. And then they come back, and a lot of them have very difficult realities going forward. But the government kind of cast all that aside and said, hey, let's create services for the veterans instead of just creating veterans from the get-go by not going to war all the time. I think that would be a much easier solution.
Right on. You know, that was...
Tormenting these people and then trying to fix them. Like, it just drives me absolutely nuts that we're
Me
foregoing
too,
it.
right on. That was one of the, I had to pick which subject I'm very pissed off about, because one of the things that pisses me off is also the ads on TV that you see now, and it says, oh, this guy's a veteran and we're this organization helping veterans, please give us $19 a month. Well, we're asked to pay for the war. Then when the veterans come back, we're asked to volunteer money for the veterans' help. And anybody that goes into service should be guaranteed for the rest of their life to have any health care they want, because they laid their life on the line. And now all these people like Ben Affleck are asking us to contribute $20 a month after we paid for them to have their butts blown off. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
You want to solve PTSD, quit sending people to war.
Absolutely, I'm with you.
Okay, so I just have to say that I am not completely against, but almost very against medication, period, prescriptions. My husband knows this. I've really gone on the path of going natural and just doing very terrible things. There's this enzyme called serrapeptase. It not only can help infertility, but it also can help nerve tension, and it also can help like back pain and all that kind of stuff, or pain in general. You'll find that anything natural probably has more than one remedy. So have you looked into actually going into being natural and finding that to cure your body? Because I really do believe in it, and it's, I mean, these things have been around hundreds and hundreds of years, and I do not agree with anything that the FDA, DEA, all those things, they just want to, this is about money at the end of the day. Just find something natural to cure yourself, that's all I'd say.
No, I appreciate your perspective. I appreciate that perspective, and I figured when I came out that there might be somebody who feels that way. But all I can tell you is, when you're, I mean, I don't know all of these kind of things, and I'm willing to try new things and everything, but all I can tell you is when you can't sleep and you're walking around and around your bed, and you don't give a shit about anything or thinking of research or anything, you just want an end to it.
Absolutely, but you also said that a lot of these prescriptions have side effects.
Oh, but I was talking about the ADD prescriptions.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's nice if you can find something, and I'm willing to listen and explore. And my friends are too, but I still think that we should have the right to have these. Opiates have been around forever too.
Opium is a natural plant.
Yeah.
My wife and I, we talk about these things a lot. I tend to think that the whole idea of naturalness is what's natural, what's not is debatable. I mean, like, there's things that are natural that you shouldn't put in your body that will kill you. It's natural, and there's things that are not natural that are, godsend for humanity. So I think at the end of the day, I think that there of course you could explore other natural things or other. But I still think that there should not be a bar from you getting a plant, a chemical, whatever something that has been made, invented. There shouldn't be a bar from it if you voluntarily trade for that. I mean, I think that's the principle that is important, and now that you mentioned that, I never thought of the people. Thank you for the talk. I never thought about the people that have these pain issues, and boy, are they up a creek without a paddle without this pain medication. You usually think, you always think of the diabetics and eating the insulin, you think about the obvious things, but you don't think about that, and I don't know how life could be bearable. I mean, how you live, like that. I mean, I just never considered that, and the fact that they changed the rating of the drugs so it's harder to get, I guess.
Yes, they made it harder to get.
Yeah.
I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'll let the thing go. Okay, I work with a behavioral health place where we try to help people feel better. And some of the people, especially one guy I know, he comes in and he goes, I go, how are you feeling today? Awful. I've got a severed nerve in my neck. I don't have pain pills. I mean, every day, I can't get pain pills. I feel horrible every day. I feel horrible. I feel like crying every day. He comes in, and it's great that he's there. And I say, I'm glad that you're alive, buddy. But I mean, geez, it's so hard. It's so hard to even give that to somebody. And then they, I just wonder. That's all. So, thank you guys.